Okay. It says this is from the FBI. Says as a part of our commitment to transparency, the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation have conducted an exclusive review of investigations. Blah 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 blah. The files relating to Epstein include a large volume of images of Epstein, images and videos of victims who are either minors, appear to be minors, over 10,000 downloaded videos, and blah blah blah. The systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. There was also no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. Yeah. So
Yeah.
again, I mean, I don't
Disgusting.
have to read all this. You guys kind of got the hint here. But
And
this
that's
is
that's posted where exactly? That was did you was that a retweet from
yeah.
somebody,
Well,
or was that
I
from
snagged this
DOJ
from somebody
itself?
else. Yeah, I can't remember. I snagged this from somebody. I think it was Benny Johnson. He had posted these. This is floating around right now from a lot of different individuals. This one right here is from the Gateway Pundit. If
Okay.
Jeffrey Epstein had no client list, then why did Attorney General Pam Bondi tell reporters a list is sitting on my desk right now to review?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
And why are we talking about this for 7 years? It's one of the most basic 101 things in blackmail and conspiracy world, is that when you're involved in a situation like this, one of the primary reasons why it exists is to be able to hold that blackmail intelligence over the people that you've now lured into participating in these heinous acts. So the idea that that list would be destroyed, or that it hadn't been part of the negotiation table before Maxwell went to jail and before Epstein killed himself, while the internet has been for 7 years saying that we want this list is expected. This is 100% evidence of foul play in my point of view. I'm just being able to process this literally within the last 20 minutes before we're going live, so my thoughts are subject to change. But you'd have to be incredibly ignorant not to see this as something suspicious.
yeah, I mean, 100%. It's like like, how can there not be a list? As you mentioned before, Ghislaine Maxwell, who was like Epstein's like girlfriend or something of that nature. It's kind of like a
Assistant, special
partner in
assistant,
crime,
facilitator, partner, accomplice,
partner in crime
a
type of thing. And
groomer, procurer of
she's in
women.
jail. She's in jail for 20 years right now because of sex trafficking. Like, how is there not a list? How is there not evidence? Um, Now, I guess on the other side, I will play the other side here. Perhaps before, um, what's this guy's name? Cash Patel and Dan Bongino, who were thought to be incorruptible individuals to head the FBI, to head this organization. And I have a video here, actually. If I can just play this video from the same share screen.
Again, logical. If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
Tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. And no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now. The FBI is.
So again, it's like, man, I find it so hard to believe that there is no list. And look,
Well,
I
who
guess the
compiled
other
the
side
list?
yeah,
The list that we are
as far as the other
speculating
side
on.
that I was,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
as far as the other side that I was mentioning, I'll just say this real quick, brother Matt, and I'll just save that thought. Is perhaps it is possible. Okay, so there is a possibility, and I want to be reasonable here to think that perhaps Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, and all these people, maybe before they got in, there was a lot of evidence shredding, evidence deleting, names, client lists that got deleted or burned, or whatever the case may be. I would say that we have to at least say, okay, maybe there's a possibility that before they got in, all the evidence got shredded. all the incriminating evidence, like the Bill Clintons, right? We wanted to see a Bill Clinton on there, right? His whole picture, he has a picture on the wall of him in a red dress, Bill Clinton, like, obviously. So anyways, brother Matt, yeah, I'm still dealing with this too myself.
I mean, the article that you just read there, the report from the DOJ, which, we are in the heels of this. Okay. So let's just say at this point, 60% chance it's not fake news. Okay. However, what they're saying is that there no additional indictments are subjects, so that meaning that they don't possess additional evidence. So whether there's a list that per se, when we watch movies, whatever it might be, you would think that there's a little black book, right? The little black book, phone book, details, etc., that the perp himself, in this case Epstein and Maxwell, would actually be keeping. And the idea behind the scenes is that they're facilitators or part of some intelligence agency op or New World Order op. Of course, we know the rumors have been persisting that Israel's been behind this for years with no substantiated evidence of that. But that they would then be back channeling the names of the clients whom they're procuring, including even being told or instigated or deciding on their own who they want to ensnare. And then upon getting possession of this evidence, they would later use them in order to bait them into worse and worse crimes. For example, perhaps it's like, hey, come to this party, 21-year-old girls, everything's sort of legal, okay, maybe not appropriate in the Lord, but legal. But then over time, as you start to see their proclivities, you would bait them more and more. You get a phone call from somebody saying, hey, we need to get dirt on this particular person. Then you offer them a 17-year-old. You tell them it's 17 years old, and it ends up being that the person's actually 14 years old. Then you present a video saying, hey, we got this on video. Or in the very least, you would have possession of that evidence so that they would be keeping detailed notes and logs, which is their insurance policy and their safety event, for themselves not to be executed, for them not to be blown like the full Oswald style, for their head not to be blown off in the middle of the night. So second to that is going to be, if they're not procuring a list on their own and having their own blackmail safe box, then what we have been told by Pam Bondi and others insinuating over the last 7 years, including Pam in recent days, as you mentioned, thousands and thousands of videos that they have to review, and the time that they're necessary in order to review these videos in order to safeguard who? The victims. Well, if you have to go through the videos in order to safeguard and make sure you're not exposing the victims, that would lead you to believe that who else is on that video besides the victim? The perpetrator. So the very fact
not
that
Epstein. Not Epstein. Epstein can't be on all of them, right? I mean, it's going to be somebody else. I mean, we know that P. Diddy had that's another thing that we're probably not even going to cover that. I mean, I'm kind of upset that Diddy got acquitted, but because I know he's a scumbag. But nonetheless, like when it comes to if we just take Diddy's case, for example, like it was in the trial that he had watch parties, that there was other people partaking in these debauchery acts. And so you would think that in all of those hours of videos that they are supposedly going through or have gone through, I mean, surely not every single hour or every single second was only Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, so that's your client list, right? That those are the ones that were partaking. And surely Epstein didn't just meet with just some random Joe Schmo. I mean, he was an elitist who had his dealings with the rich and famous. So surely there was somebody that can be recognized. Well, guess what? That is your list. Get that person on paper. Let's release that person and let's go after that person. That's what should be happening here.
Yeah, and I mean, this is no small crime, no small detail. What we were hoping in Trump coming into office is that this would be the beginning of allowing the right and the left to come together, to unify behind prosecuting heinous acts, and then finding big names who are actually behind this, who are on these lists. And I don't think anyone's been naive enough to assume that Epstein, just like and Diddy in these case, who also was getting perp walked, there was also I think it was 3 out of the 6 charges of which he was indicted with, he was actually found guilty for, essentially being found guilty for being a pimp and not a trafficker. you know, do we believe that these name brand child trafficking operations, ritual abuse operations, PDF file operations are all that's going on throughout the entire world? No. These are the
Absolutely
ones
not.
that have become a household name, and what we were hoping is that this would lead us to this term, which is called human trafficking. Human trafficking, which is such a watered down terminology that doesn't even possibly it leads your brain to thinking of something that's acceptable, something that's morally greed, motive, profit type of associated, sort of like an eyes wide shut. Where we all know that before we came to the Lord, we have proclivities, including sex, and our that perhaps we got out of control with, and therefore when people are allured into sexual proclivities such as that, of having parties and orgies, so on and so forth, that this isn't beyond the stretch of the human imagination for people's appetites to be perverted over time. Just as we see pornography perverting people's appetites. What you start with is not necessarily what you end with after 10 years of pornography. So in the same case, in the same token, we know that we were expecting that this client list isn't just to put people in jail, but to expose the worldwide human trafficking epidemic. When I first started looking into this 20 years ago, the term human trafficking didn't exist. Okay, 10 years ago, 10, 12, something like that years ago, this term was created that I just feel completely waters down and makes us numb to the reality, and sort of creates it as a commercial category of prostitution, which could be justified. But no, we know that behind what's called human trafficking and the PDF files such as Jeffrey Epstein is Satanism, satanic ritual abuse. And the people who are behind this run the entire world. At least that's what we on the conspiracy side of things, questioning history, are expecting. And if this bombshell is not going to come out, this is a major hit, especially in light of how we've seen the JFK files come out and how no one even cares. And there has been more and more details coming out of those files that insinuates that Oswald indeed was a perp, and that Oswald was indeed set up, perhaps as a co-participant in the assassination. But we're supposed to be looking at the clues of the puzzle that's leading us to who we've been calling the deep state. See, this deep state terminology, now conclude in 20 seconds, is also new, watered-down language. We called it the Illuminati, okay? We called it Bohemian Grove. Right? We never called it the deep state, referring to people who are legacy, people who have not been the deep state. The deep state leads you to believe it's people who have been unelected, that are in the Pentagon, that have appointed positions, that have been there for years and decades. That's not who we have been focusing on our entire lives. We've been focusing on puppet masters who put people like that in charge. And we wanted to get to the bottom line of the puppet masters, not just those who are on the front lines of whom we know their names. We want to get to the nameless individuals, so that America can rise up like a phoenix out of the ashes, and admitting our wrongs and exposing the devil, and hoping that that would bring us closer to Christ and closer to sanity and moral purity. So if the Epstein list isn't going to be released, and this is just going to be a dead end, this is a partial dead end, I hate to say it, for our great expectations of the Trump administration's exposing evil.
Yeah, a little disappointed, definitely, but I am reminded that it's not cliche, but I'm going to say it. It sounds cliche, but it's not. It really isn't. I mean, these are some of the things that I think God is allowing us to go through. Because why is because He wants us to trust Him. Right, we can't, and He has to give us a reminder sometimes. And look, obviously, we know we can only trust the Lord, right? We can only trust in His righteousness, and it's going to be things like this that are going to continue to remind Christians that, look, while we can have a hope and we can support politicians or particular politicians, or one particular party and this or that, policies that align more with Christian values, really at the end of the day we can only trust God, right? We can only trust in His righteousness, in His kingdom, to bring about true justice. And I got a message for those that may be hiding maybe the client list, maybe it's the deep state, aka Illuminati, right? There's one day where all of these things are going to be brought into into the light, and there's going to be one day that God is going to judge, and guess what? There is going to be true justice served one day. And so that's the end. That's what's going to happen eventually. We pray for that day. We await for that day. And the more I see things like this that happening in an administration that I do support a lot. I don't. Obviously, we don't worship Trump. We don't worship the Trump administration. We have high expectations. We have high hopes. But at the end of the day, we can't even trust fully into that. Full justice is going to be served on that level. But yeah, a little disappointing.
Very disappointing. Very disappointing.
Yeah, a little disappointing. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So we'll see as it continues to develop. We'll see who talks about it tomorrow as the next week comes around, and let's see if it just gets swept underneath the rug. It gets overshadowed by something else. So
okay, all right.
Hey, try to forget about it.
Before we move on to the next segment here, let's go ahead and play a quick ad from our sponsor, since we've been doing this at the end of the videos, godgears.com. These wonderful crosses that you see behind me, these are for sale at godgears.com. They don't quite do justice when you see them on camera like this, to be honest with you. When you look at these in real life, these are meant to represent the moving pieces of the body of Christ. And they are for sale at godgears.com.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. The Word was God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. The Word was God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. The Word was God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. The Word was God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. The Word was God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. The Word was God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. The Word was, and the Word,
Yep. Use
Godgears.com.
coupon code Faith the Nation in order to save yourself 10%. $5 for these little tiny guys behind me. The larger ones are actually $95. Smaller ones $45. So basically $5 up all the way to $95. When you buy the $5 one, I actually lose money. That's what gives you an indicator of why I am doing this. Alex.
Yes, just want to give a shout out to Shirley Lugo for watching Elon, and we're not talking about Elon Musk, but Elon 2026. Welcome, sister. James King, thank you for joining. Brother Cliss Emmanuel Abla says shalom. Just want to give a shout out to those that are commenting. If you guys haven't, please hit that like button and make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Also, in the description below, we have links to our X account. So please follow us on X. Also, we have the new YouTube channel, Faith the Nation, where we take these live streams and we clip them into smaller videos. And as Brother Matt had mentioned before, we're actually going to be doing some Christian commentary, a little bit more Christian commentary videos in the near future. You'll definitely be able to find them over there on
Very
Faith the Nation.
controversial stuff.
Very controversial stuff.
And we're actually trying to
Yes.
get Pastor David to get onto the show with us when we cover these controversial subjects. So we've got that safety net just in case the whole channel gets destroyed.
This way
It'll
we
be
don't
equally
get
his
kicked off
fault.
of the show. This way we don't get kicked off of Christ Forgiveness Ministries. Anyways,
Yeah.
where do you want to go to next, man? We have a lot going on. Let's cover the big beautiful bill